Hey, it's Jim, and this is FRM Part 2, the topical market risk measurement and management, and the chapter on the Vasicek and Gauss Plus models. I want to quickly remind you that we are nearing the end of a conversation on the term structure of interest rates, and I don't want you to lose sight of the very simple graph between yield to maturity and time to maturity, which describes the term structure of interest rates. Remember, we can have an upward sloping or a downward sloping or a flat yield curve. So the simplicity of that graph is exactly what we're trying to do here in these series of chapters. However, in order to help us do things like hedge and price some derivative contracts, we're most interested in a future interest rate to help us hedge with the Gauss Plus model. Just for learning objectives, notice there's a describe and a compare and an explain. We are going to have to do some calculations. We'll do that at the end of this slide deck. But notice that what we're doing is offer a more complex and more complete. All right, let's go ahead and start with the Vasicek model. We remember that that's a single factor interest rate model. That single factor, of course, is the short-term interest. You should remember that's the name from Carl Gauss, who was 60 miles an hour, and then I stop, and then I start. I don't understand traffic at all, but apparently the continuous variable. Now, I shouldn't have to remind you of what each of the notations stand for, but here's a good reminder. So a couple of things that are interesting about this. I mean, we can try to predict, but the mean is going to be, sometimes it's up and sometimes it's down. That just means a continuous volatility of interest rates. And by the way, long-term rates have their own set of volatility, which is relative